Holy gang, holy gang, holy gang. That me, that me, that me. Really shit that I wrote, really shit that I wrote. Cause I heard they looking for me. Really shit that I wrote, really shit that I wrote. I heard they looking for me. I start to wonder like Stevie. It ain't hard for you to see me. I'm in the hood with it. Heard they looking for me. But y'all checking all the wrong places. But I ain't changed my location. I'm in the hood with it. Heard they looking for me. I heard they looking for me. The popo came looking for me. My bitch came through looking for me. And my mama came looking for me. Heard the ops came through looking for me. Heard the plug came through looking for me. I said drugs, so they looking for me. There's rumors that plug through the bonus at me. All I know is this money and automatics. Play my distance for I had to go bananas. In the trap house collection, can bring the camera. I go OT, know I'm certified. Trapaholic nigga, let the burner fly. Risk my life for money if it's worth a try. Pulling up the quality is a purple sky. But I get that kingpin love. Hey, married to money, I swear I'm so deep in love. Hey, but times ain't the same, and these streets getting rough. Hey, but I do whatever to make sure that cheese getting up. Hey. Karma come and keep a hoolie with it. Strapped in so we in zoomies with it. Plug reaching now, you know I'm loopy with it. Get the block and tune and they go loony with it. Feds recording, call him paparazzi. I don't fucking know him if he ain't the posse. Hoes looking for me, told her leave me slappy. Took my soul from me, she Illuminati. Girl, I'm on your body. I heard they looking for me. I start to wonder like Stevie. It ain't hard for you to see me. I'm in the hood with it. Heard they looking for me. But y'all checking all the wrong places. But I ain't changed my location. I'm in the hood with it. Heard they looking for me. I heard they looking for me. The popo came looking for me. My bitch came through looking for me. Heard my mama came looking for me. Heard the ops came through looking for me. Heard the plug came through looking for me. I said drugs, so they looking for me. Remember driving straight down Bruckner Boulevard. Youngin' in the rental, no kids, push a star. 100 downs on me, trap, I'm jugging hard. Old heads watch everything, they looking hard. They ain't trying numbers to check my resume. Everybody lost, got up, I led the way. One thing I ask when I pray is extra days. Get the water running away for me to set the way. They ask around for them youngins. I'm on the block and I'm bugging. They told my mama I want it. I'm on the strip every morning. Popo come through and they on us. They tell my mama be honest. They get up whole block of summers. Bell money came off the corner. They say that the hood ain't gon' love a nigga. I never respect a sucker nigga. I'm in the trap with my hustle niggas. Promise never be a bustin' nigga. I stayed away from a bunch of niggas. Only headshots if we come from niggas. You shoot for that cash like you jumpin' nigga. So my shit done changed in the summer nigga. I heard they looking for me. I start to wonder like Stevie. It ain't hard for you to see me. I'm in the hood with it. Heard they looking for me. But y'all checking all the wrong places. But I ain't changed my location. I'm in the hood with it. Heard they looking for me. I heard they looking for me. The popo came looking for me. My bitch came through looking for me. Heard my mama came looking for me. Heard the ops came through looking for me. Heard the plug came through looking for me. I said drugs, so they looking for me. Tryna reach the throne, I let them streets alone. But I still let a nigga have it with the ratchet if my brother call me up right now. I run these streets alone, even when heat is on. I ain't untouchable, nobody's untouchable. I'm tryna reach the throne, I let them streets alone. But I still let a nigga have it with the ratchet if my brother call me up right now. I run these streets alone, even when heat is on. I ain't untouchable, nobody's untouchable. Man, you ain't got the heart to do shit. Yeah, you ain't got the heart to do shit. Man, yeah, you ain't got the heart to do shit. Yeah, you ain't got the heart to do shit. Man, you ain't got the heart to do shit. For 16 to life, my mama went loca. He wasn't there to teach me the ropes, so I bought a 4-5. I came up off all a bundle of dope, and then I make coca. I started whipping and pitching. I had to dodge mocha. Never left the peace at home, cause I gotta catch a Peter roll. It's a fact. Weak niggas see my team is strong, and they all try leeching on. I don't see him when the beef is on. You know who put the policeman on. Funny niggas call him Cheech and Chong. Only gang gotta keep them calm. Cause I'm the nigga they gon' let it pop for. Just a rock, I handle it like I'm hot sauce. Big Sean and I'm doing it for the guap boy. Ain't gotta talk body language, we can lie boy. All designers below, that shit is a knockoff. More light seeds to go, I'm going outdoor. I ain't got it, I'm throwing my shit southpaw. So rebellious, the holy feel like an outlaw. Like an outlaw. I'm tryna reach the throne. I let them streets alone. But I still let a nigga have it with the ratchet if my brother called me up right now. I run these streets alone, even when heat is on. I ain't untouchable, nobody's untouchable. I'm tryna reach the throne, I let them streets alone. But I still let a nigga have it with the ratchet if my brother called me out right now. I run these streets alone, even when heat is on. I ain't untouchable, nobody's untouchable. Man, you ain't got the heart to do shit. You ain't got the heart to do shit. You ain't got the heart to do shit. Man, yeah, you ain't got the heart to do shit. Yeah, you ain't got the heart to do shit. You ain't got the heart to do shit.
My mother died when I did my time, a nigga went loco. Someone dropped a dime, did 2 years inside for fucking with Coco. Don't make sales in the open, don't talk on the phone, that shit is a no-no. Cause they watching your movements and got you on camera, that shit ain't a GoPro. So I be on the block moving like a ninja. Old people mad saying moving like a sinner, but young niggas look up to me saying I'm a winner. Move like a veteran but feel like a beginner. If you see me chillin', I ain't chillin', I be trapping. If you do some shit that we ain't feelin', then we clapping. They think it can't happen cause I'm rapping, until a bitch nigga gets splatted. I be on the block with them things, and no niggas do not rock with no lanes. Had guap, I was still hopping the train. On parole, I was still locking the aim. Had a nigga coming at me, I rise my toolie. And I'ma bring my nigga Ivo Hooley. We all from the streets, y'all side all fruity. We only smoke loud, y'all side smoke woolies. Call Queasy, call Kev, call Jay. Niggas know St. John, niggas don't play. If we catch you slipping, walking in the wrong place, we gon' put you to sleep like you had a long day. Hey, grew up in the streets, a little arrogant nigga. Gun illegal, but I still carry a nigga. I'll bury a nigga as soon as a Glock spark. Catch me in 52, but catch me in Fox Park with the hoolies.
I'm tryna reach the throne, I let them streets alone. But I still let a nigga have it with the ratchet if my brother called me up right now. I run these streets alone, even when heat is on. I ain't untouchable, nobody's untouchable. I'm tryna reach the throne, I let them streets alone. But I still let a nigga have it with the ratchet if my brother called me out right now. I run these streets alone, even when heat is on. I ain't untouchable, nobody's untouchable. Man, you ain't got the heart to do shit. Yeah, you ain't got the heart to do shit. You ain't got the heart to do shit. Man, you ain't got the heart to do shit. Yeah, you ain't got the heart to do shit. You ain't got the heart to do shit. Man, you ain't got the heart to do shit.
Yo. Peace, Vandals and Vandalettes. It's the Guard Mathematics, and you now watching the Vandal Hour Season 6 live on S.STREET Media. Make sure y'all check out our new date and time, and that's every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6. You can also catch us live on our new website at www.sstreetmedia.info. You can also catch us on our Ustream page, on our Instagram page, on our Facebook page, and our Twitter page. Make sure you check us out on all of our platforms. And we have a lot of them. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. We have a really dope show for y'all. There's no co-host, there's no DJ, there's no extras. The only person that is here with I is my man, the comrade, Sosa 1718. You already know the man behind the 1718 Collective. He's doing a lot of things. Make sure you check out that poetry and piff thing coming up at the 5 spot presented by the 1718 Collective. I will have some hand claps and stuff like that, but we do not have a DJ. So this is what you do. Raw. Big Daddy Kane shit. This is how we do. Before we get into any of the other things, I have a person sitting in here at the table, at the Vandal Hour table. He is a person from our culture, doing a lot within the culture. We're going to get into all the things that he's doing. And when I say that he's doing a lot of things, he is doing a lot of things. But we have cars in the building. You dig?
Well, thank you for having me, man.
I'm going to push the mic a little bit closer to you, pause. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me out to your show, man. Really stoked.
Yo, you had your run in the graph side. Now you behind production stuff, a lot of things that is graph oriented. So we want to speak to you about all them things. But before we get into our conversation, because you know we gotta have a show for the people. We want them to, hold out for a little second and wait a little while. We gotta get into these topics, man. Now what's crazy is I'm looking like I'm going through papers to find the topics, but there is no paper with the topics. But I have the topics. I'm going to go into one, man. Diane Carroll is her name, if I'm not mistaken. Diane Carroll. You know who Diane Carroll is?
I think she just passed away, right?
Yeah, she just passed away. She's the person behind the lead actress in Claudine. Very pivotal to the black, theatrics or what's the black. She's a famous actress. That's the best way I could put it. I try to get fancy and stuff, but she's a famous actress who's like synonymous like with Diana Ross and Mahogany. Claudine was a show about black family or black families in the 1970s, dealing with welfare and the welfare system. James Earl Jones is her boyfriend in the movie. It's a very powerful piece, very important to the people that come from poverty, like myself. Very, very inspirational movie, very powerful, impactful movie. But rest in peace to Diane Carroll. I hope I'm saying her name right. Can somebody fact check that while I go into the next topic? But rest in peace to her.
I think you're correct on that.
Also, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Because I'm high. I was smoking before I started this program. Shout out to the Bud Man and that cherry pie that he blessed us with. And what's her name again exactly? Diane Carroll. So I want to, again, rest in peace to her. The Vandal Hour, send our condolences to her and her family and everybody who's affected by her death. On another note, they want to impeach the president. Let me say that again. They want to impeach the president. And I'm going to say this. In the 1990s, every black kid in the ghetto wanted to be like Donald Trump. I guess him running for president changed that. But they want to impeach the president. It's crazy. I'm bugging out. He might not be he might not make this second term. There's a bet that's going on in my project saying that, he will be impeached and he will not make it to the second term. I say if he's not impeached, he will make it to the second term. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't give a fuck about politics. But that's a good bet. So, yeah, they're trying to impeach the president. He was talking to the Ukraine president, trying to find out scoop on Joe Biden's son, saying that Joe Biden's son is stealing a lot of money in office when Joe Biden was in office. Giuliani says, hell no, he's not. But They want to impeach the president because he's working with outside. Uh, you're dealing with foreign powers on domestic issues, which is, as a president, it might be illegal. Matter of fact, the Democrats think it's illegal, so they're trying to impeach his ass. But I don't give a fuck. On to the next topic. What is the next topic? Pardon Self. Oh, Pardon Self. I was just watching the Wu-Tang Clan series on Hulu this week. Episode 7 just came out. If you was privileged in seeing this, it was a good episode. RZA becomes Prince Rakim. He records "I Love You, Rakim." Very deep episode. It is the beginning of the Wu-Tang saga musically. Jizza is about to get to deal with Cold Chillin'. It's a great episode, man. If you're not following the Wu-Tang series, I think it's a great series. I think you need to check it out. They are a super group, one of the biggest groups to ever come out since probably the Rolling Stones or something. You could debate me on that. You know, my opinion. But the show is great. The guy that's playing RZA, he's playing him fabulously, man. Did I just say that? Fabulously? Yeah, I said it. Yeah, he's playing. He's definitely got the role down pack. His portrayal of him is great. Dave East is great as Method Man, down to the clothes that he's wearing. Also, the guy that's playing Ghostface Killer, people say he sucks. I think that he's doing a great job. You know, he's playing a gangster with emotional sides. You know, Ghostface is a very complex individual. So I think the young brother is playing the part well. But if you didn't see the Wu-Tang American Saga series, check it out on Hulu. If you can't afford a subscription to Hulu, you could do like everybody else, like myself is doing, going to YouTube and catching the stolen content. My bad. You know, it's the truth. Shout out to whoever's in Mexico or Ecuador who's uploading them. You know, thank you. I can't afford Hulu, not even a free subscription. Also, going on in the news, in the Vandal Hour news, we have Pardon Self. For the people that might not be familiar with this part of the show, but this is when we get into this week in the Vandal Hour news. This is when we go into stuff that's happening inside the industry, the culture of graph. Number one, Bronx Museum just had a dope exhibition highlighting a lot of graph's elite in the game. Martha Cooper was there. It was real big. It was really big. I didn't go myself, but from the pictures that I've seen, shout out to June 457. He took some dope pictures. It looked like it was something to be a part of. You know, I'm busy here, so it's hard for me to get out to these functions and stuff like that. But you could Google it, look it up, go through other graph dudes' pages, and check it out. The Bronx Museum had a dope exhibition on graph. Also coming up, the 1718 Collective, Pardon Self, the Vandal Hour and Invasion of Stickers presents Hand Styles Sticker and Black Book Show. Is coming up on the 19th of October. Yeah, we are off base here. We are not prepared. This ain't professional. We are the Vandal Hour. It's coming up October 19th. It's happening at Madison, 35 Madison, 935 Madison Ave. That's off Broadway. A couple of blocks from where all the people on K2 is at. The zombies. You know what I'm talking about. Past McDonald's, where the crackheads be behind. You know what I mean? We'll be right up the block. We are for the people, so we come amongst the people. But yeah, we got that going on. Anything else coming up? Yeah. Happy time. Oh, pardon self. Shout out to Soul, who had an exhibition yesterday, art exhibition, Soul 357. Shout out to the brother. I heard it was a dope event, a dope showing. He had it was in like in a bar. You know, if you know Soul's work is very dope. And 357, who don't want to go to a 357 exhibition? Whichever brother is throwing it, whether it's Lace, RD, Soul, it's always fire. I'm not gonna lie to you. Shout out to RD357 who was on the Vandal Hour. Also, Lowbrow Antique presents the Below Key solo show. It happened yesterday also, if I'm not mistaken. It was happening the same day. So, you know, Below Key is fucking dope. Wild out shit, you know what I mean? Real trippy art. If you're into the trippy art like myself, Below Key is dope. I missed that one too, but I hope some of y'all got to see it. But you know, that's always happening in the Vandal Hour News. Now, if you, oh no, pardon self. So that's some of the things that happen in the Vandal Hour News. Now, this week on Vandal's Flexing, we come to pump you up. Yes, we don't have a DJ, we don't have the sound bite, but yeah, we still do the motherfucking effects. And this week on Vandal's Flexing, I didn't write no names down, but I'm gonna tell you some of the motherfucking names I seen on my daily travels. Bash, again, do I always say his name? He deserved to be said. Bash, motherfucking dope. GZ, another motherfucking dude getting busy. I just seen some Merc shit. Shout out to C's, who always posts a lot of Merc shit, and the BBB boys, the FFF boys. Merc doing crazy shit. Who else have we seen? Anso, losing his motherfucking head. Shout out to Anso. We need y'all motherfuckers on the Vandal Hour. Get this motherfucking shit going. Who else? Yeah, Mo was one of the people that we posted on the page. Dope artist, man. But if you want to be featured on Vandal's Flexing, man, you could send us a picture to our DM. You can inbox us. If that shit is trash, we not reposting it. If your shit is trash and you didn't send it to us, we might go to your page and steal it. Reposting is a motherfucker. So if you want to be featured, hit us up. We'd love to throw your shit in on our page. Now, in regular news, there ain't no regular news. There is the regular news, man. S.STREET Media is connected with 905 FM. We got shows on the radio. If you in the Queens section, if you in the Flatbush section, we are part of a radio station called 905 FM. We have Black Raspberry Radio that comes on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. We have Straight Gas Radio with myself and DJ Drew, OK Drew, and Spicy Sugar. That comes on Friday mornings from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. And here's a little secret that nobody knows except for me. Respected DJ is now coming to 905 FM. So yeah, we're going to be on the motherfucking radio. Fuck your internet shit. Fuck your motherfucking social media. Check us out on the motherfucking radio. And that is all in the Vandal Hour Associated News. Let's get to this interview. How you doing, God? How you doing? I just wigged out for a second. Pardon me, man.
Dude,
Pardon me.
I love
It's
that
hot
energy.
in here. The lights is on. You know, I'm feeling real Facts on Waxes. Shout out to Facts on Wax who celebrated his birthday this week also. That's how life goes. We going to just connect these dots. How you doing, man?
Chilling, bro. Love the energy, man.
I'm glad you're here, man. We was chilling for like the past hour, smoking and joking, toking and loking. You know what I mean? And we had a great conversation, man. We was dealing with a lot of different things. You are I would call yourself a Renaissance man. You did a lot of different things.
Appreciate that.
But since this is the graph, the Vandal Hour, and dudes do want to hear this graffiti conversation, we got to start off with your graph associations and you living the graph culture before everything else, or before a lot of the other things you've done. What was your introduction to the culture of graffiti?
Basically, I started skateboarding when I was 8, and skateboarding, graffiti, hip hop kind of all go together. And I was already kind of into art, so I started, I started messing around with graffiti a little bit. My older brother had got me into it, got me kind of started on it. He's 10 years older. And then when I was probably around like 10 or 11, 12, started looking at all the books. Guys like Kel, huge
Oh,
influence.
he was dope. He's dope.
He was probably one of my favorites. One of the dudes I try to mimic his style the most.
The wizard hat. One of my favorite pieces from like spray can or one of those books had it.
Dude, you're talking when they didn't have as many colors. It was a lot more difficult. The caps, they were modding a lot of the caps back in those days. It wasn't, now forget it. There's 5 million colors, 5 million caps. So yeah, those someone like him, Dondi.
Dondi's dope.
Guys that I saw that influenced me and that inspired me as a kid going through the city, skating and stuff was like J.A. I mean, just king, dude.
The monster, the let the kraken loose.
Yo, for real, man. I mean, probably one of my all-time favorites.
Mine's too.
Just the subway killer, man. I mean, every archway, miles down the tunnel. I mean, that the guy is a legend in my book, and him, Cap, Easy. Those are the guys that I kind of grew up looking at, that I was seeing around. And then Cease and Pace, I went to school with them, SWK. So I've been rocking with those dudes since I'm a baby, 12, 13 years old. Shout out to Pace, man. He's like my older brother. Good people, man. Do anything for you. Insane style. Pace, SWK, FTR. But yeah, those are the guys that I kind of got more serious with it. And then one of my buddies who had passed away, Drew, I was doing a lot of like the bridges and stuff, running. Like, I'm from Long Island, so
okay.
It was
this graph in Long Island.
Yeah, man.
I'm fucking with you.
Parkway bridges. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, man. Is I'm never gonna.
We had Long Island riders on the Vandal. I'm just fucking around. We had them.
Well, hey, man, like Pace and the Running Man and Cease and these cats, man, they did serious damage. Like, I never did damage like they did. I mean, 50 throws in a row, 50 fill-ins in a row. I mean, you could tell these dudes. I mean, they just
playing with paint.
Yeah, they put in work, man. They really put in work, and it's been over the course of decades now. And but for me, I never liked. Yeah, I love the rush of it and the adrenaline, and the racking. That's a form of it's a lifestyle. I lived that lifestyle for a very long time. Stealing food and stuff like that. Whatever you paint.
We was talking about that earlier.
Yeah, skateboards, whatever I couldn't afford, I was just gonna take it. These things all kind of came together, and I really didn't want to compete with people, and I just saw like the camera as a way, like, I could go down in history as the greatest guy to document it all.
Let me ask you something. When you was doing your thing in Long Island, did you ever venture off into the boroughs?
Occasionally, but rare. Mostly to skate. We were going into Harlem a lot, skate the Lenox Ledges. We were skating in Queens a lot, the Globe, and Brooklyn Banks a lot. So like I was constantly around, and I would always tote markers and paint. I mean, I never rode a board that didn't have like a Blockbuster or a stencil or a graph or something along those lines on it. Like I said, it's just all relative.
That's a fact.
You're in the park and you got paint. You're painting on the ramps. Like this is just. It's a very similar lifestyle and culture. I think that's why a lot of people are so willing to let me film them, because I understand that.
It's not like an outsider. It's a person who has an understanding from within.
Yeah, hung off train trestles, ran from the cops countless times. Like, I've done all of it, stealing the paint, stealing all food, and like I said, skateboards, anything. And it's a lifestyle, man.
A lot of many people may not know this, but a lot of graph writers are skateboarders. I was connected to a lot of people who did graph, who rode skateboards. Like when I say a lot is synonymous in a lot of circles. Is there any time that, because a lot of people who skate do graph while they skate, meaning that they on their boards, they going somewhere, they moving and grooving, they got the paint, how dudes do with the bikes and whatever, or how dudes do the walking thing.
100%.
Is that what? Did you ever do any of that type of
Now,
thing?
even now, like I'm going out with Easy or Sev or whoever, a lot of the times I'm bringing like a 7D and a GoPro, and like my 7D will be on a Scorpion with like a fisheye or like a wide angle optic, and I'll be filming them like shooting dolly shots, skating on my board and stuff, and going from spot to spot, looking out, and it also looks like I'm just filming skateboarding, you know. So I utilize that all the time, and even from like you said, even still to this day, I'll still go out occasionally and just by myself even, and I'm skating from spot to spot. It's just easy to get around and get away if you have to too, you know.
Long Island. For the person who never been to Long Island and ever experienced the graph culture out there, can you pretty much describe to us the Long Island graph scene?
Yeah, it's there's some really talented dudes out there, man. Even back in the 80s and the 90s when I was growing up, like the Running Man, he had to have been one of the first like real deal character artists, man, where you saw him everywhere, and to me like that was dope because that was like that's graffiti and that's art. He's vandalizing, but he's throwing up a character, man. So like that I thought was really cool. And he's from Long Island. He grew up in the same neighborhood as I did. Cease and Pace, like I said too, they're from out there. And it was more like, the bridges, the Parkway bridges, the BQE. Pace used to say, Cos, we'll go hit the BQE, you'll be famous overnight. 250,000 cars pass on that Parkway every day, people going to work in rush hour.
True.
Because you don't have the city streets and stuff like that, so you have to go to the parkways and things to that effect. The train trestles, the train lines are huge. That's a huge part of it. Like the Long Island Railroad on the Babylon line and the Ronkonkoma line, if you just look out the window going through Long Island, like 516 Long Island, I'm not talking 631, Nassau County, that shit is destroyed. At all the backs of the buildings, there's fill-ins and throw-ups and burners and shit everywhere. And I think a lot of people just don't think of it because it's Long Island. Yeah, you're like, oh,
or everybody knows that Long Island is stricter on crime. Long Island will smoke your boots like you killed somebody, catching you bombing out there.
Yeah, like cut your hands off type stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Long Island reputation that I know. They real serious on everything. Everything.
Yeah, with I mean, even I don't know how it is now, but I haven't lived there in a decade. But with the weed and the paint and all that, forget it, man. They bang you over the head for that stuff. And here they slap you on the wrist. I think Sev just posted something I saw on Instagram that they're trying to put a law in effect that if you get caught painting, they're trying to like set it up so you just have to go to like one art class, and like that's your sentence.
I'm gonna say this. I think that is decent. That's decent. To put so much effort and make a whole police force.
Listen, man, this is
behind...
fucking New York City. You're not gonna fucking change it. People, you want to try to stop them, they're gonna do it more.
I just think that the laws ain't equivalent to the crime.
Don't add up.
Don't add up. For a person to go and be in prison for graft is disgusting.
Sev getting arrested for putting a sticker up, man.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Arrested 12 times for graffiti, this dude.
To me, it doesn't make sense. If you catch me writing I paint the fucking wall or gate that y'all catch me writing on. And if I gotta do some like community service, like a hour or two of community service, yeah.
That
But
makes sense.
you have a force based on, you know, running up in graffiti writers' houses, intimidating them, because a lot of graffiti writers are not from the streets, so they run up in a crib, and intimidate them, scare them into telling on everyone, because you know these are like a lot of people that's not into the streets, so they think that they're gonna go to jail forever type of thing. It's real to me. It's real. It's a waste of New York City's tax dollars. I don't pay taxes. Who said that? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. It's a waste of tax cities dollars.
Hey, man.
It's a waste of tax cities dollars, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
So let's go into you have a couple of graph orientated creative things going on. You have the Black Book Diaries that I want to get into, and you have Changing Courses. Let's talk about the Black Book Diaries. For the people who don't know about the Black Book Diaries, can you tell them, get them a description on what it is?
Sure. So basically, the Black Book Diaries it's a 6-part docu-series featuring 6 different artists. And basically, they're just gonna, they piece in my book. I go to their studio. I film B-roll in their studio. Books that have been hit by other artists, pieces they have hanging up, markers, paints they use, and then I sit them down for like a Q&A for like about an hour, and I sprinkle the B-roll and the Black Book footage over the interview footage with multicam. I'm shooting like 3-4 cams on these guys when they're piecing, and for somebody like, let's say, Zimed is one of my episodes. He did an incredible burner in my Black Book, took out an airbrush and stuff. That was largely his part, and then the B-roll from his studio, and then his Q&A, his little interview. But then someone like Easy is completely different, where I'm out in the street with him filming until 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And there's no piecing in the Black Book.
There's no Black Book.
There is at the end. He just catches a big fat pilot tag in the book to like kind of
which he usually does. Which he usually does.
So that's pretty much gonna seal that. But it's basically gonna, it's kind of like almost like a day in the life. Kind of see how these dudes operate and learn a little bit about them, because so many of the people that I'm working with. I would love to do this with every artist I'm working with, because they're all so talented. They're all so different. And that was my objective with the Black Book Diaries was, I didn't want to just do bombers. I didn't want to just do like mural artists. I wanted to have like a little bit of everything, because all different types of people piece in Black Books. So, I did my first episode with Robots Will Kill.
Shout out to him.
Shout out Chris Robots.
Who's been involved with the Vandal Hour and many of our events, and he's been up here.
Super dude. He was the first episode of our docu-series. Chris, he was really the first one to sign up with me and jump on board, and I was stoked because he created the biggest graffiti website in the world, 2001. I mean, I've been looking at his website since then. When I was in college, I remember being able to look at graffiti all over the world because he created an anonymous uploader on his page, which was like, it was sick. That was like the first place you could really see graffiti from all over.
Before everybody else started copying and doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Chris was the first one, and I wanted to give him his chance. And he's painted in the World Trade Center. He's done the Spotify building. He's got a laundry list of stuff. I just figured
his resume's crazy.
Yeah, his resume's crazy. His art is very, it's very noticeable. It's not hard. You just know it's a Chris Robots. Oh, that's a robot. Like that's RWK, man. But then I knew that people were gonna attack me. Be like, oh, he's not a bomber. He's not a vandal. Like, how are you gonna, call him a graffiti artist like someone like, Easy or somebody like Sev? And that's why I did that, because I didn't want to deal with that. I was like, I want to give everybody what they want, So then what I did, I was originally just going to premiere Robots' episode first. But then I was like, nah, I'm going to do his and Sev's at the same time. So I premiered them both the same night at Angelica Theater in February. It was really successful. It was a great turnout.
How you can't grace over that one. You had an opening at the Angelica Theater, very
Historic.
historical. How was that night, man?
One of the best nights of my life, man. I premiered a skate movie about 7 or 8 years ago on Long Island at Levittown Lowe's Theater. It didn't even, that was arguably the best night of my life until Angelica Theater. And, knowing that Blair Witch had premiered there, and it's like the mecca for like underground filmmaking.
If I'm not mistaken, they also, what's the famous the porn movie? I forgot the name of the porn movie.
Oh, maybe Deep Throat or something?
Deep Throat.
Oh, really? That premiered there?
If I'm not mistaken, it was there. It was there. I got to look that up.
I'm
but
not
I
surprised.
could almost bet the farm on that one. But yeah, Angelica Theater, all the great independent films is usually released there. When I was younger, I used to like to go to that movie theater. I'd actually seen the Barbito, Stretch Armstrong and Barbito joint there, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, Chris said it. He was, Robot said to me when we were there that night, it was actually his mom's birthday, and I picked that date, and I didn't know that it was his mother's birthday, and Chris had just buried his father a couple months earlier, so that was like a real nice gift to him. He came to me, and he was like, Kaz, I came to this theater in 96 or 95 to see the Basquiat movie.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm bringing my mom here to see me in this theater. And that to me was like, I was like, this is dope, man. Like I've accomplished something, And
Was it a good turnout?
Oh yeah, it was a good turnout, man. I would say it was the theater seated 250. We probably had, maybe 75 empty seats or so. The next one, I have a feeling more people will know about. I have a lot more people promoting and posting for me and such. So I expect an even, I expect the next two to sell out completely.
So what should we be expecting from the Black Book Diaries, and when do it drop, and how can we see it?
Well, you'll be able to see the next two are going to be Zimad and Duel. I'm going to premiere them both at the same time. Duel, D1NYC, and Zimad_art. Those are two artists you should check out. That's episodes 3 and 4. Zimad's episode's done completely already. Duel's episode is shot. I just have to finish editing. So those look like I'm going to get it out by the end of November, early December, back in Angelica Theater. And then I'm hoping by February, which would be a year from my first, would be Night Owl and Easy for the last two.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm fucking up. I'm high. I call myself mush mouth sometimes when I'm under the influence. But what I was going to say is, Duel, in my opinion, has one of the most prettiest floaters, throw-ups, however you want to say it, in the game. One of the most prettiest throw-ups in the game. I debate anybody on that. One of the best hands when it comes to throw-ups, and I debate anybody on that point, especially his run in the 90s with Ghost and them and J.A. and them. They was smoking shit, and his shit was always like stand outish. Like he does pretty clean throw-ups. Like one of the best. I debate anybody on that
like
one.
Photocopy
How was it
machine.
working with Duel?
He's good people, man. He's crazy. He's ex-military, man. He's ex-Marine. So he's just like really driven and insane work ethic. I got to hang with the Riz dudes and shoot with them, with Giz and Myro, and got to hang with Ghost. Those dudes they all rule, man. They're all so cool. They're so humble. Yeah, man. Duel's he's been really, been back in the Black Book Diaries.
He has a show also.
Yeah.
We not scared to shout out nobody else. Like this is how we move. We are about pushing the culture. If you are good peoples, we gonna push what you got going on. Shout out to their Graph All Stars is the name of their podcast. Shout out to my man Heck and Duel, who is the two hosts on their show. Yes, we do not have no beef with no other podcast. Shout out to Alski, who also has a dope podcast. He works a lot with Zimad, if I'm not
Yeah, he's done
mistaken.
some. He's done Zimmed and robots and stuff. Couple of same people.
Yeah.
Um,
He's we people be thinking that we have beef with people and like we don't fuck with people. No, it's
it's
we
different in the film and the TV and radio world. It's different, I think, man.
I just think that everybody I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people doing what they love doing. There's enough space in this world for everyone, and that's my personal opinion. So shout out to the Graph All Stars who always supports our Vandal Hour page. We support theirs. We repost their shit. It's like that. Who are some of the artists that you working with? Oh wait, pardon self. Changing courses. You have a couple of things going on. Talk to us about changing courses and what is changing courses.
So when I was out, filming with Easy, doing the Black Book Diaries and stuff, he I guess he kind of, after hanging out a bunch and spending some time together, he kind of realized like, yo, like, Kaz, you have great work ethic, man, and I love the way that you shoot and edit everything, and the way you build all this stuff just comes out, great. He approached me and he had an idea, and he was like, I have this concept where, originally he wanted to call the show Shifting Gears, I think, but it's already a name of a show. So I was like, oh, let's come up with another name called, we landed on Changing Courses, but it's about, Easy going from doing his, bombing in the streets and his tagging and all that in the streets to taking his shit to the galleries and doing the fine art, because he's really got something there. And Kit 17 is a part of this also.
Shout out to Kit 17, who was also on the Vandal Hour.
The man, the legend, man. Like, when you talk to like people like Cope and Ghost, like, these are graffiti gods amongst the people that aren't New Yorkers, that don't know the whole history and everything. But when you talk to guys like Cope and Ghost, who I love, they're both incredible. They looked up to Kit, man. Kit was the guy doing the first colors, smashing the 4, 5, and 6.
He has a great extensive history.
Oh, it's insane. And one of the guys
pictures, and he has pictures of his shit too.
Looked over, man. He's definitely looked over and doesn't get credited enough. That's why I was like so stoked to do something with him, because the guy's got stories upon stories and they're real, man. And he's telling his stories.
Yeah, and he's cool. He's cool.
And
man.
He's cool as hell, man. And Al Diaz, shout out to Al Diaz.
Who is Al Diaz? I seen his name in
Al Diaz was Basquiat's partner. They created Samo together.
Get out of here.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, man. This is a big misconception in the art world. Basquiat didn't start Samo. That was a two-man crew. It was started with Al Diaz and Jean-Michel Basquiat. And here's the trippy, fucked up part, is that Al Diaz was the kid from the projects who had no money, who was the bomber, who was already doing graffiti by the time he was 12 years old. He was writing Bomb 1. And there's proof of that. There's pictures of his tags and his throw-ups and all types of shit in trains, on walls. He was doing it. Al was doing it. He met Jean-Michel Basquiat at City of the School, which was like a school for like kids that were wanted to pursue art, or not school, regular school, you know? And they met each other, and they used to, I said to Al, I said, how did you guys start? Like, what did Samo start as? How the fuck did this happen? Tell me the story, And he was like, dude, me and Jean-Michel used to hang out a lot with this one chick. Her parents had a lot of money. We used to go to her place, quite a bit. And, her parents smoked a lot of weed. And it was like kind of a novel thing for them as kids to go to this girl's house and smoke weed with the parents and like hang out with them and shit. So after a while, like when they didn't have anything to do, they would just be like, yo, you want to go to Sarah's house and smoke trees, And then it got so redundant that after a while, I was like, yo, you want to go do Samo? And that's what Samo is. It's all a reference
Wow.
to fucking going to this girl's house, doing the same old shit. And you don't know that unless you know the actual story, man, because that's how it really started. And then from there, they created Samo. It was like a fake religion. They drew up all these characters with fake testimonials about Samo, the religion, and they were putting them up all over the city. And then it was Al's idea because he was the graffiti artist. He was the hood kid. Basquiat was from a well-to-do neighborhood. His father was an accountant. Like Al says, you couldn't help but walk into Basquiat's house and be like, damn, this place is swank as fuck, you know? So it was Al's idea, like, yo, let's start scrolling this shit on the wall. And then that's when they got noticed by the Village Voice, and then that's when all that shit blew up. But Basquiat did pursue it, and Al didn't. He kind of just like left it alone. He declared it dead, and they were both doing dope and
So
stuff.
basically, he was like the fifth Beatle.
Yeah, it's sad.
The only reason why I say that, because I tell my business partner all the time, you never want to be the fifth Beatle.
No.
Like, that is the worst feeling, especially when a lot of times the fifth Beatle usually be the person who came up with the concept.
Yep.
And they just don't believe in it anymore. I'm going to give you an example of one. And I just found this out on Respected DJ with DJ Swift Show, where Mr. Wart, which you can check us out on YouTube. Check out this interview with Mr. Wart and DJ Swift. Mr. Wart said Black Moon was originally 5 foot, Evil D, and Fester. I don't know if you know who Fester is, but Fester it was an MC. He later came out with Fester and something else. I forgot, it was him and another dude. But Fester quit Black Moon the day before they got the deal. They brung Buckshot in. 5 foot is Black Moon. It was his shit. And he brung Buckshot in last minute. He took over Fester's spot and they got the deal. That is crazy. Like, he missed it by no exaggeration to the story. You could go on Respect the DJ on YouTube and check the Mr. Walt of Black Moon interview, and he says that's a bad feeling, man.
It's hard. I'm trying to help by telling the real story, man.
I'm glad you did, because I didn't know.
Yeah, people, that's just it. People are like, oh, they come into my place, they see the same old stuff on my walls, and they're like, oh, man, same old Basquiat. I'm like, nah, Al Diaz, man. Like, and if you read any of his bios, his biographies, any of his books, Basquiat talks about Al and how they came up with the concept. People just don't read, and they just go by what everyone else does and says, and it's sad because it's distorting history. Al was, Samo would not have existed if Al didn't exist. Straight up, man. He's still a living extension of Samo. It's a two-man crew. He's still alive. As far as I'm concerned, one person can't declare it dead.
True indeed.
I don't know how that works. I've never been in a two-man crew, but like, for me, for someone to be like, Samo is dead, I don't know.
It's almost similar to the Smith Sane thing.
Yeah.
Sane Smith.
Yeah.
And Smith still throws up
Sane.
Yeah. Smith. Sane Smith, Smith Sane.
Yep.
So I agree with you.
So
right.
yeah, that's just another guy who's going from the galley and he's trying to make a name.
So
again.
changing courses, for a person wanna see it, how can they go about it, or when is it going to be dropping?
We're gonna try to drop that in around like February, March this coming year. So like right after we finish the Black Book Diaries, within a month or two after, we'll be right back in the theater.
You have a lot of content, man. You have a lot of content.
Yeah, lots.
Right now, are you paying attention to? Oh, let's stay on the same course. We were speaking about Beyond the Streets.
Yeah.
Did you go to the Beyond the Streets thing?
I did.
How you feel about the exhibit? Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest because I'm more of a filmmaker than I am an artist, and I need to be the person to speak up. They snubbed a lot of people. This was a California-based show they brought to New York, and they had no New York artists. This is what I'm being.
Get out of here! I didn't see it.
That's what I'm being told, and I mean, the fact that they're calling people like Cess the king of the father, godfather of wild style. You know how many DMs I got? I was on a group DM with like 10 of the most legendary graffiti artists, all talking about how that was the biggest crock of shit. You know, like, you're not, dude. Tracy 168's the king of wild style. If you're gonna call somebody that they got his fucking logo on the outside of the building and the dude wasn't even in the show. You
Wow.
know, like, how, that to me, man, it doesn't make sense.
Do you think it's politics?
Oh, there's a lot of politics involved in that, man. 100%. I know that Cope wasn't even allowed in the building. How's that even happening? How's people like him, Kit 17, J.A., Easy, Cap, J.A., Easy, Cap, Tracy 168. I mean, I could sit here and list a laundry list of artists that are New York, that did huge shit, that are still
very
doing.
impactful.
Oh my God, the most influential ever.
Sure indeed.
And they snubbed so many people, man, and they just keep giving the same goddamn people credit over and over again. And you know, you mentioned Martha Cooper before. Nah, man, I'm kind of over Martha Cooper and Henry Chalfant. Like, yo, you did a couple things, man. You know? Like, what are you doing now? You just walk around shooting photos and you have a bad attitude? I've met her like 5 times. She can't remember my name. Yo, you're nothing. You're a culture vulture. That's what you are. Yo, for real. I don't have no
Some
respect
people
for her.
say. So let me play devil's advocate. I'm God, so I can never be the devil. But playing devil's advocate, do people equate them to being the people who brought Graph to the commercial level? That, you know, the beginning.
You want to talk about how much money these people are making off the artists? Because we could talk about that. I know that'll silence a lot of people. Because you start talking about how much.
I imagine there's a lot of money.
You start talking about how much money these Beyond the Streets people were making holding banquet events. I know this because I had friends that were working those banquet events in black suits. You mean to tell me that these companies and businesses that are renting out Beyond the Streets, they'll throw events, aren't paying whoever's running that
True indeed. True
a
indeed.
lot of money to rent that space? And do you think the artists are seeing any of that money? No, man, they're lining their own pockets, man. Do you ever check out some of the net worth on some of these people running these things? It's disgusting, dude. People need to start doing their homework. For real, because these people are just robbing the artists because they're not businessmen. And that's where I'm trying to come into play and tell people like, yo, enough is enough with this shit already, man. My boys did shows in the city. Easy did a show in the city. The gallery took 50% and the fucking curator took 20.
Get out
So
of
now
here.
he's got 30% and he still has to pay taxes on that shit. So you tell me, you sell a painting, right, for 10 racks. You end up with less than 2,000? Are you fucking kidding me? That's not right, dude. You know, and that's where I'm stepping in, and I started silvertunastudios.com. Please check us out and support us there. I sell everyone's art. All my boys that I represent, Easy, Kit 17, you know,
Silver
Robots.
Tuna.
Yeah, man.
Talk to us about Silver Tuna.
Sorry, man. Silver Tuna Studios is my production company that I started when I left CBS Sports. It's been backed by my homie Jeff Fisher. Shout outs Jeff Fisher, 11-time Emmy Award-winning producer, editor, cam op, and sound guy. Basically, you know, it's just a focus on the arts and the documentary and just about furthering the movement and just capturing as much and as much art as I can effectively and still putting it out, having it look good, you know? Trying to get the people exposure that need the exposure, people that should be getting credit that aren't getting credit, because there's a lot of people that are just, you know, that I want to bring light to, man, and that's why I started doing a lot of this stuff.
Who's some of the artists that you have involved with Silver Tuna?
A couple of the artists that I'm representing now, you know, Easy was actually the first one to come to me. He said, Kaz, I'll never forget this. I think you would do a masterful job at repping, you know, artists as like an agent, Kaz. And I said, man, that's not a bad idea, man. I already kind of do that. And he was my first client, so I rep Easy. I rep Kit 17. I rep this other fine artist from CBS Studios, Mariah Sultan. Amazingly talented. She's more of a fine artist, but like, I don't know if you watch the show The Ballers with The
I
Rock.
haven't seen it.
There's an episode where he destroys his office. They rebuild his office, and they put all these amazing, huge paintings in his office, and they're all this woman, Mariah Sullivan's.
Wow.
And she was the CBS art director that I came up under, who she was literally responsible for putting me in as a featured photographer for CBS, where they hung up 80-inch prints of mine throughout the building. So I would see Phil Simms or Charles Barkley looking at my work in the lounge, you know, at my photographs and stuff.
Yeah, you speaking of artists, you outside of graph, you are an artist too. And that's bad. Let me take that back. You are artists in different mediums.
Oh, yeah.
So outside of the graph medium, what's your other side? What's the other mediums you like to deal with?
Fine art, a lot of mixed media, photography. I do a lot of photography still. Still, you know, spray painting and stencil, mixing with the pastels and the crayons and the mean streaks, and just I pretty much anything and anything. I'm doing lots more bright kind of stuff with my art. It seems to be what people love right now, is just bright colors. But yeah, man, I it sucks because I haven't been, unless I have like a show. I was just in a show with Easy, Duel, a bunch of people, Kit 17, Trap, in Manhattan not too long ago. And like I was preparing for that for weeks, man. I was painting cans and drawing constantly. But now, since then, man, it's like I'm at my computer every day, all day, or behind a camera. I think it kind of goes in waves, man, you know, where you just get so burnt out on something and you kind of gravitate towards another thing, you know?
Let's leave the graph alone for a second. You know, I was a skater, you skate also. You done skated with some big name people, man. You know, we have the Vandal. I do have a strong skateboard community that follow us. A strong one. Shout out to all my skaters out there. You know, who's some of the people you skated with?
Recently, actually, me and my buddy Shane McGrain, shout out Instagrain, amazing skateboarder, also from Long Island. We've actually, before Bam from Jackass, before he ended up going to rehab, we were spending quite a bit of time. We had gone out to his place, his castle out in Pennsylvania, a bunch of times to film.
He was going through a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff.
I think he's sober 70 days now. I know Shane spoke to him recently, my buddy, and he said that he was doing good. But we were doing, we were just going out to his castle and skating in his barn and filming with him, and that's something that in the future, I mean, he's probably been the biggest influence to me more than anybody, I think, because he was a pro skateboarder, but he was a filmmaker also. A lot of people don't know that, man. He was shooting, editing, directing, producing, all that shit. All the Jackass, like, he was doing CKY before that, Camp Kill Yourself. Mm-hmm. And he was, like, having those DVDs distributed worldwide and became a millionaire off those DVDs before he even did Jackass. A lot of people don't know that, but he was doing all of that shit, man. He put out this one movie called Haggard. It's probably one of my favorite movies. He edited it in fucking 4 days, man. And I didn't. Wow. I would have never have known that. But when last time I was out at his place, we were skating in the barn, and we were actually sitting on top of the bowl, and we were talking, and I was asking him about film and stuff, and he said that he stayed up 4 days straight, no drugs, and cut that whole movie because he had a vision in his mind that's what it needed to look like, and he didn't want to go to sleep and fucking distort the vision. And I was like, bro, how the hell do you stay up for 4 days, dude?
Yo, he wasn't on drugs. But shout out to the great masterminds like
Unreal.
Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein. If you don't know, I heard they was on cocaine and stuff like that up for a couple of days, writing hits. All the things that came out that weekend of writers is some of the most famous stuff
ever done.
Yeah, what you call it, late 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. One of my favorite movies. What's my man that don't die? I forgot, but No, it's funny. My mind be so many places.
Same boat.
I have my no. I'm giving myself a new AKA. My new AKA is mumble mouth because it seems like when I get high, my mouth doesn't move the way it needs to be. Pause. But did you see the Joker movie that came
I
out?
did. I didn't.
Man, I want to see
It
that.
looks crazy. Who do they have playing him?
Is River? Wait, what's his name?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah.
That might be kind of cool, actually.
I read something
He's
yesterday in the paper. It said he does contortion
contortion.
in the movie 2 times,
Oh,
and
that's scary.
he's taking a character. He don't become Joker until late in the film. So it is basically this guy. It's a story about a guy who's a clown, or and
Contortionist.
yeah, and this is his. It's the Joker before becoming the Joker. The Joker is not. He doesn't become the Joker until the end. And I heard there's a scene. I'm going to be a spoiler. I love to spoil shit. I heard Batman has a quick scene. Sorry, guys. You should have seen it yesterday when it came out.
It's all right. There's spoilers.
My
everywhere.
bad. My bad. So, yeah.
Nicholson was the greatest Batman ever.
I'm going with the guy. What's the guy that died?
Heath Ledger.
Oh, man. He made me, him and the one from the newer one that it was in another, it was Joker in another movie, and it was all the bad people was let out of jail. I forgot the name of that movie. All the people from Arkham, what was that fucking crazy asylum that's in Batman. But yeah, there's a movie, and there's another guy who plays the Joker. His hair cut off. He had silver teeth in his mouth. I forgot the dude name.
Shit.
He plays him like a psycho. Like, no lie to you, his version. I like his version also. I forgot the name of the movies. If you know the movie where all the bad guys let out of prison to fight other bad guys, Will Smith is one of the characters that's there also. I forgot the name of it. But it's a Marvel movie. I mean, pardon self. It's a DC movie. We about to close out this dope conversation with cars, man. I just want to make sure you check us out on www.sstreetmedia.com. Make sure you go to YouTube and put the Vandal Hour into the YouTube engine. You could go to Google and Google the Vandal Hour or S.STREET Media. We are everywhere. It's 100% official. We have a lot of content. I'm gonna tell y'all this now. The Vandal Hour will be releasing the podcast version of all of the Vandal Hour episodes. I will be putting them on Spotify and the titles and the Apple Music. I don't know which one I'm going to use, but I will be doing that coming soon. Make sure you check out for that. Make sure you come to Reefer Madness happening next Saturday at a secret location. Shout out to them dudes from Happy Time Snacks. Who them niggas is? I don't know. But shout out to them. Shout out to everybody who's a part of that. Shout out to the 1718 Collective. Shout out to all the Vandal Hour members, brothers and sisters who came before me. Facts on Wax, Brat, Giggles, Justice, Guess, June 457, Dre Kill Films, everyone, bring that back dude who I always forget. Everyone who paved the way for me to be sitting here 5 years later in November to be talking my shit. Do you have anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shit, man. I'm gonna shout out Stick 'em Up Inc. coming through, No Love City, a couple of my sponsors, Artist Craft Supply always taking care of me, Bombing Science,
We need bombing science on the show, man. Can you make that happen?
I'm sure I could
Please,
make
please,
a call or
please try
send
to
an
make that
email.
happen.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to interview bombing science.
Yeah, they're great people, man. They got behind the Black Book Diaries. They're awesome people. Yeah, man. Just
I don't want to. Before I forget, you said that you've been putting up canvases all around New York City.
yeah,
Real quick, let me know.
everybody really needs to keep their eyes open because Easy's now taking his gallery work and he's putting it up in the street, man. So you got to keep your eyes open, stay off your phone when you're walking through the streets and look up because he's doing like invader style stuff now, but big, massive textured canvases that say his name that are done in silver, gold, and bronze that have glitter all over them, so they sparkle when you're walking past them at night.
Look like a piece of jewelry.
Dude, it's insane. It's insane. So just keep your eyes open. Lower East Side, we've been wrecking it. But yeah, we're on the move with that. So people keep your eyes open. And if you got the rocks and a telescopic ladder and a way to get cement off the wall, you can claim one.
Make sure you try to steal one of those from New York City streets. Yo, I'm Mathematics, Sosa behind the boards. That's Cars in the motherfucking building. And thank you for watching the Vandal Hour. Peace.